Hey, YouTubers. First of all, I'd like to welcome any new subscribers I've picked up in the last couple month or so. I picked up quite a few, so I appreciate it. Um, it's always nice when people comment on your videos and actually watch and listen to what you say and either agree or disagree. I have a few things I want to go over today since it is 8808, the opening of the Olympics in China in Beijing, which was very beautiful. The opening was. Um, there was an election in the last week here in my little town I live in, and I thought it was really funny because one of the guys that lives down the block was a write-in for something, but he didn't have these issues of some of the other guys that were running. I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm not going to show you any names, at least I hope. But you can see it's actually like a lot of stuff written down to try to get you to go and vote. It's not even typed or printed out on a computer. But one thing the first thing that, well, I'll give you the second thing that caught my eye, which I thought was hilarious. There's a tax that's going for the zoo that's in the county, and it's like 0.1%. So it's 10 cents per $1,000, which is nothing, right? I mean, I realize a lot of people are strapped, and we all have other taxes. We have high property taxes in my town, so I realize we pay a lot of taxes. But come on, 0.1% for a zoo. I didn't think it was a big deal. But let's not confuse the people with the facts. Let's just go ahead and write in on the top here, you know, more tax, and then an arrow that points straight to the tax, a tax. It does actually underline the point 0.1 mil, but it's just so funny. They got an arrow that points to a tax, and then the more tax. So that was one funny thing, but the real funny thing, and this is sort of what I'm going to talk about. Uh, One of the, let's just call him John Doe here. He he wrote in. This is what his issue is that he's going to change. He's going to stop China from taking our jobs, plus money with fake products. No, I don't know what a fake product is. Can someone please tell me what a fake product is? Maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and maybe he's talking knockoffs. But I don't think China is sending in knockoffs here. I think they're actually producing these products that he calls fake. Um, but yeah, stop China from taking our jobs plus money with fake products. And then I think his real hook here, that this is the reason that he'll probably get elected, is uh, I think he's going to freeze the tax. Tax frozen for 50 years is on beer. I'm not sure if that's the problem or that's what he's saying he's going to do. It says the tax frozen for 50 years is on beer. Hey guys, the tax frozen for 50 years is on beer. I might vote for him if it were wine, but okay, beer's okay, I guess. So anyway, yeah, I think it's really funny, and it brings me to an issue because my mother's sort of the same way. She gets on these, you know, she gets wrapped up in all these things that you see on the news. Whether it's uh, the products out of China or abortion or whatever. She's always, very emotional, and she's one of these that I'm going to stop buying products from China. China's the bad guys. I'm not going to shop at Walmart because they import their products from China. Um, people, people of the country that I live in, uh, you're not going to stop China. You just better get on the wave and ride it. Like I told the Modern Mystic earlier, there is no stopping China. China is on the rise. China is going to pass the United States in gross domestic products. China is going to be a world superpower before you know it. There's no stopping them. So you might as well join them. You might as well get on the bandwagon, and not take it as a threat, but just take it as these people. There's 1.3 billion people in China, and they would like to have their population somewhat out of living off of more than $20 a month. Um, who could blame them? Now, China has around 300 million people considered middle class, which is about roughly the size of our whole population. But they have another 1 billion people that aren't living um, so well, at least the majority of that 1 billion. Um, so, it's funny how people jump on these things. like somehow China is doing something wrong when all they're trying to do is feed their people. Um, and they have a lot of people to feed, a lot of mouths to feed. So yeah, there is no stopping China, and there is no. They're gonna take our money with their fake products. I hate to tell you this, and it works both ways. We're living a life here right now. How long? I don't know. How much longer? But we're living a life right now that has something that it has a lot to do with China. Uh, the prices of their products are very cheap, so you can buy nicer things for less money. Not to mention the fact that they're buying our bonds, they're buying our notes, they're buying our debt. Um, because if they weren't buying our debt, our dollar wouldn't even be worth what it's worth today. So, what you got to realize is, and the reason they're doing it is not because they're nice guys. I'm not doubting there's a lot of nice people over in China, but it's because we're connected. There's no getting around it. China at this point needs the United States to buy their products, and the United States needs China's products, and they need China to buy our debt. Uh, you know, so don't get distracted by the facts. Uh, to sit there and put stop China from, and I always love it. I mean, obviously this is an amateur politician. I mean, the fact that they're writing it in, but politicians do that all the time. They say we're gonna do this. We're gonna solve the energy problem by offshore drilling. Um, is that it? Is that your solution? And I'll go on the other side, alternative energy. Oh yeah, and they give you what they're going to do, but how are they going to do it? Is the question. How are they going to do it? And this guy obviously is. There's no way He's not gonna. If it was a. It's just funny to me. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just get a kick out of it. Um, so yeah, so that was one thing I want to talk about. The next thing I want to ask the modern mystic, because the modern mystic, if for those of you who don't know who he is, which I believe most people do, who watch my videos, uh, he talks a lot about the financial sectors and what's going on, and he's not one that says he knows it all. In fact, there's many times where he says, "I am confused. I have no idea why this is the way it is." But I do have a question because he doesn't. He talks more about the United States, the greenbacks, and Europe. But I'm curious on what he thinks about China, um, because when I look at China, although they are expanding at an enormous pace, I don't see this going on forever. And the reason I say this is because they have 1.3 billion people, and India has India. Let's bring India into it. Has 1.1 billion people, and for China to grow as fast as they're growing, and let's just say do what the United States did um, over the past 100 years, you would need another Earth full of resources to support that. So it's impossible for China to keep this pace. And with India trying to do the same thing, you might as well double that. You need two more Earths for the resources that they're going to take. So I'm just curious on where he thinks this is going with China. And I know that's a big question. He may not be able to answer it in one video. And another thing I wanted to talk about is the way what China is doing. And you can't listen. The United States has done its dabbling in other people's governments for a long time. So don't. I'm not looking down on what. I'm not saying look what China's doing, and acting like the United States government hasn't done the same thing. But what they're doing is like they're going over to say like Angola or Sudan or Darfur, and they're saying, hey, we'll give you a couple of $1 billion loan here. You pay us back in oil. We'll go in there and we'll build your infrastructure. And whatever your government decides it wants to do, like corruption or exterminate the other people on the other side of the country, that's not our business. As long as you keep that oil flowing, you can do whatever you want. I see I'm running out of time here, but listen, and I know, just like I know because where I live, I know that the people aren't the government. So I realize that the people of China aren't necessarily supporting this outright. Um, But at the same time, it's just really interesting how China is going into other countries and for political influence and for oil and for energy because they're growing and they need the energy. I totally understand that, but it is sort of sad when they're dealing weapons to Darfur, and those people are committing genocide. Um, you know, all for gain, all for growth. So that is sad. That is a sad note. Okay, so anyway, let me get out of here. I'm running out of time. I just like to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Please keep subbing. I love it. And I love meeting new people. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.